Alba, could you tell me a little bit about how you got started working as an interpreter?
Well, I started in 2007, and the reason why I look into this, it was mainly after my daughter was in the hospital for a week, and then when I was there, I realized that even though I understood the language, I was a total mess when I was there, and I figure and I saw other families in there that had this barrier with the language. So I thought at that moment that I will, when everything went well, with thank goodness with my daughter, but I will start something that I can help people, that I can probably just help them communicate better, because I know that communication is a key for anything, especially when you have a kid in the hospital or that is sick, and you are already nervous about it, you already worry about that. I don't think language should be an extra thing to worry about it. So that was my main thing that I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do it. And also, once I started doing it, I realized it's very challenging. It's very interesting. Every day is a different day. When you go on an appointment, you can, be talking about so many things. Sometimes in advance, sometimes you don't know, especially if it's an emergency. But once you get there, it keeps you running all the time. It keeps you wanting to learn more every day. Every day I always go home and I want to review something, because maybe I heard that this new drug is coming up into the market, so I'm going to research on that. And I think at the end it just makes me a better person, a more educated person, because I'm always looking for things. I'm always looking for things to learn more and have a better understanding of what's going on. So when I go out in an appointment, I can help those people to my best of my knowledge, and I can. The only way to do that is getting more aware of what is going on around us, not only about the drugs that are out there, not only about the medical terminology, but also about the culture. I always want, one thing I do, I always go back to my country, and I can do that every year, so I always try to keep in touch with the community as well, because that's the only way that you can also keep understanding. Sometimes when we stay here in the state for too long, we forget sometimes how things were back home, and then we go into an appointment and say, oh yes, I realized that we used to do that when we were kids. So it's always good to keep in touch with the community, to keep in touch with your culture, and also the terminology as well.
Alba, would you mind sharing some of the reasons why you like being an interpreter?
Well, first of all, I like the flexible hours. That's one thing that actually made me look into this career, because I have kids, and so with that, sometimes you cannot plan too much ahead, but with this, you can always go in and take a look at the different appointments and see if you can do it or not. I always can prepare my schedule, a week ahead if I want to, and then know what I can do, what I cannot do. So for me, this is a very, it's good for me just to be able to see my schedule in advance. Interpreting is very fulfilling. I always very satisfied when I go to an appointment and I feel like I can help that person or that family. I know for sure that they actually understood everything they would say during the session. I know that the communication, it was a very good flow in the communication. They were able to communicate with the doctor, the nurses, or anybody that was involved in the session. So it's always very fulfilling.